Hey, another episode of Watch You Strappin, and these are not watch reviews. So just a quick wristwatch check with a strap of pairing of some sort with a watch of some sort. And this some sort of watch is definitely a Sinn 155S Revolution 2. This is their second, collab limited edition watch was in this specific kind of Bundeswehr style watch, and this is the Bright Star, the latest edition here. And this just came out in the first quarter of 2024. I would say basically the release, if I recall correctly, was around mid or late March, and right now it's already in May. Took me a couple of months to be able to get it, but glad that they're still around. These are a limited edition of only 300 pieces total. And what I really like about this is that, one, I've always liked actually the Hoya Bundeswehr watches. This specific reference, I think it's the 1550. But anyways, really cool watch. Military pilot chronograph watch from at least the 60s to 70s. I think even some of them might have still existed in service around the 80s as well. I believe it started out as a brand from, is it Leonidas, Leonidas. I believe it's an Italian brand, and it basically had this look here. And then Hoyer, I believe, bought them out and they started producing them. And then when they needed service, Sinn was the ones that were actually servicing those Hoyer Bundeswehr watches. And eventually Sinn started producing their own. And there we go. So I like the lineage. It's all connected. I mean, I like vintage Hoyer as well. So this is in some, indirect way of me collecting one. I think you could probably still find them, but I imagine they're still pretty pricey. Being, any vintage military watches generally will command a premium of some sort. But anyways, so this is the Bright Star. So what differs between this and their first, I believe the first version that they did, which is called the Dark Star, is there's a couple of things. I think the bezel was a bit more faded or ghosted. It looks more gray to me. I think overall it has a more kind of vintage look to it because it had more of a creamy loom. Some might call it patina. It had different handset as well, syringe style. And the Black Star was not loomed, as you see in the dial here. I like that it's subtle. It doesn't pop out and like say, hey, this is a Revolution watch. It's very subtle, and it's just nicely kind of basically a black on black print, so it's kind of ghosted. But this one is called the Bright Star because this time that star down there does loom. Black loom, of course, so it's basically kind of rubbish, but for a little bit after you've charged it at night in a dark situation, you can see it for a bit. But definitely the handset and the dial, the indices, the lumina definitely will glow nice and bright. It's quite reactive and very long lasting. And yeah, just always found this a handsome piece. I just like this particular way that especially the way that the bezel is done, just the way the lines, the markings. Something about it is just different than I've seen on other kind of timing bezels. Just very clean and doesn't look overly heavy, but still very legible. And this is on the stock leather, black leather bund strap that it comes with. It does come with another NATO strap, or I would consider a Zulu style, but I don't like that. I wish they had just done a normal NATO strap, but that one that they have with it, those the hardware on those rings on it is just too big. Never liked that. They just don't sit right. I mean, you have to like push them down in one direction or another, and they can't flip flop or even pull out a bit. I don't know. It's just, and then plus the way it wraps and folds, or maybe it doesn't really fold all that well. It's just looks sloppy. Anyways, I probably will never show it on that, unfortunately. But I do have plenty of other straps to show this on, and you'll surely see those. I wanted to do this video first, as any new watch, and this is definitely a new watch. I usually try to show it on its original configuration first before I do it on the aftermarket options. But I really wanted to get this on wrist, but taking it to work, I didn't want to bring it on the leather. It's just been so hot, so I would have been very sweaty. And plus, I clean my watches, so there's no way to really clean a leather strap very well. All right, you can't really run that under the faucet like I can this watch, which is 100 meters water resistance, which is plenty. As long as you don't pull the crown or push the chrono stop, it should be totally fine. And this is a German tool watch by Sinn, so you can trust that 100 meters is probably a bit of an understatement, I think, and it's more than sufficient to get this watch wet without ill effects, provided you don't do anything foolish or stupid. So there it is on the bund strap, and I quite like it. It's not too big. Of course, any bund strap adds that layer, but I'm trying to pull back here as far as the way the watch sits on a bund strap. It's fine. I mean, it's to be expected. It's not going to sit into the wrist as much, but I find it in no way unwieldy. You just have to find the right tightness, not overly tight, but just enough so it's not loose and moving all over the place, and it holds it as close and tightly as possible without choking off circulation. And it's a nice and supple leather too. It's actually quite good. There's really no break-in period. I might just have rolled or bent the areas near on the strap, the main straps on either side, to give it to be even that much more conforming off the bat, but it really pretty much didn't need it. And the bund, that leather layer piece underneath, it's not that thick. Sometimes you see some people have it, and that leather piece, especially from the top view or front view right here, it extends beyond this case size too much. It's like you guys, I've seen it pretty thick, like at least 2, maybe 4 or 5 millimeters all around. It's like, no, that's too much. You need it just preferably no much, really not wider than the case, if not less than, because you just need it for mainly just the case back for it to protect you from any extreme temperature variances, not too cold to freeze onto your skin, and not somehow too hot where it might actually be burning or just generally uncomfortable temperature wise. So there we go. My wrist is about 7 inches. I'd say if it hasn't changed, it should be 6.9, but effectively it will just round up to even 7 inches. And for a 43 millimeter watch, I think overall works pretty good. There's good downturn on the case, rather on the lugs, and I think overall it fits on the wheel quite nicely. Even on the bund strap, I don't think it's unwieldy or anything. And I'm not really a bund strap person, but certain watches it works for, and definitely a pilot watch is one of them. Almost a lot of military applications you could do that with, like, back in, I think as far as back as World War I, when they started wearing wristwatches, bund straps were one of the ways to do it, and that definitely works for that, even a field watch aesthetic. It doesn't have to be like a pilot watch. And anyways, there we go. I gotta get moving. My Sunday is only so long, and I gotta get back to work. So really enjoying this piece. I'm very glad that I was able to get it. I did miss the boat on the Bright Star, although some of them have been showing up on the secondary market. But to be honest, I really I think I like this. I like that one right off the bat, just because the overall general design. But this one, I like the reissue. I think that being all black, it helps it wear smaller too. It just hides itself on the wrist size a little bit better. Just makes it more subtle, and it's just cool just to have an all black Sinn for one thing. And then this model, it looks particularly handsome in all black, but what they did with this is they lost a Votina. Not that I have a problem with it, but I don't mind that it has like a regular, almost greenish glow to it. It probably looks more white if it hasn't been charged in a day as it has. I like that the handset is the original handset that they used to have in the original models, right? So I don't know if this is really called pencil style, but Yeah, the hour marker, hour hand reaches right to the hour markings, and then the all the hands reach to where they're supposed to. The sub registers, of course, they reach all the indices. There's no gap. Like it's too short. Even the minute hand on this reaches all the indexes, and the seconds for the chronograph also goes all the way to the edge. So, and it's very legible. There's no cutoff numbers, no date, which they could have put down in the 12, but I'm glad they didn't, because these originally never had dates anyways. And that's about all I want to say right now. It's getting kind of long, as I usually do, but whatever. That's my format. That's what I do. I talk. I might talk too much, but you can always fast forward. And but that's the way it goes. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your watches. Have a great weekend.